Weather Service will be out there tomorrow to try to figure out the strength of that tornado. Meteorologists use the Fujita scale to classify tornadoes, and Darren Peck is joining us more on this. And they can't just hold like a wind gauge in a tornado like they can a hurricane, right?
Right, we cannot do that. So we have to go after the fact, look at the damage, and then see how bad this tornado was. It's called the Fujita scale because it's named after the guy who came up with it. At an EF0, look what's happening to this house. Shingles are getting ripped off the roof. Now watch what happens when we go to an EF1. Watch the window right here. The window gets blown out. So at an EF1 with 86-mile-an-hour winds to 110-mile-an-hour winds, not only shingles, but pieces of the roof are getting ripped off. Now we're going to go to an EF2, and you're going to see something a little more dramatic happen here. Watch the roof. Gone. And that's with wind speeds at 111 to 135 miles an hour. Now keep in mind, that roof got ripped off solely by the intensity of the winds, not because a tree fell on it or anything else. And there's a lot of tree damage today that happened. Let me show you what stands out as probably Exhibit A for the National Weather Service tomorrow. You've probably seen this picture a lot already today. If you haven't, that's a home in Port Orchard. The roof completely gone. It's like you're looking down into a dollhouse. This is forensic evidence for the National Weather Service tomorrow. And it's important because while we can get tornadoes here in western Washington, we do not typically get strong ones. Zeros and ones on that scale happen on average 3 times a year. We've only had 5 in the whole time we've been keeping track of these that have been 2 or above. And the worst one was an EF3, by the way. This one happened back in 1972. It actually started in Portland, crossed over the Columbia River, went into Vancouver, Washington, and that's where it took 6 lives. So while, yes, the majority of tornadoes that we see here in Washington are 0 or 1s, we can get 2s or 3s. And today was likely an example of how that can happen. We'll hear more from the National Weather Service coming up tomorrow, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Darren. King 5 photojournalist Mark Anderson sent us these pictures late this afternoon. Looks like a strip mall took a pretty big hit. We've seen crews already cleaning